boy, what you doing in here? Get out of here.
I mean, there was always the uncertainty of what would happen.
And you just stay there and you keep your eyes on the prize. You feel the pain, but you don't become bitter. You don't become hostile. And you sort of lose yourself. You forget about your own circumstances, and you become involved in the circumstances of others. But we were committed to the philosophy and to the discipline of nonviolence.
In May of 1961, two groups left Washington by bus to call to the attention of the country violation of anti-discrimination laws in interstate travel.
These were all young, bright, attractive students, at peace with themselves. I mean, I think every waking hour they knew they were subject to be killed.
In Virginia and the Carolinas, they suffered intimidation. But now they were entering the Deep South.
When we first heard that the Freedom Riders was coming through Alabama, of course, when they got to Anniston, the bus was surrounded, and while the bus was stopped, they punctured some of the tires. Then the Klansmen followed that bus when it left Anniston with those Freedom Riders on it. They knew those tires were going flat. And they set the bus on fire. The highway patrolman, if he had not been on that bus, everyone would have burned to death.
They were now informed that the riders of the second bus had been beaten by Klansmen in Birmingham. Proceeding from Birmingham, the riders had been assured protection to the Montgomery city limits by the state police.
I had arranged for about 32 highway patrol cars, 16 in front, 16 behind, with an aircraft following them from Birmingham to Montgomery.
And when we arrived, the patrol car disappeared. You just had the feeling that something was about to happen.
Go home, nigga!
It was a bloodbath. There was a ministerial student named James Work, badly beaten about the face. I think he lost several teeth.
And blood just came from everywhere, and it just started running down my face, back of my head. Our bodies became living witnesses to the cause of human dignity.
They would leave Alabama having survived the bus burnings in Anniston and the beatings in Birmingham and Montgomery. A few days later, they would be arrested and put in jail in Jackson, Mississippi. Hearing of the bravery that preceded them, blacks in Albany, Georgia, in Jackson, in Selma, Alabama, began to boycott, march, and protest. Even their leader, Martin Luther King, was arrested. It was Good Friday in Birmingham. He responded to white clergy criticizing him for going too far, too fast.
When you have seen hate-filled policemen curse, kick, and even kill your black brothers and sisters, and your first name becomes nigger, your middle name becomes boy, however old you are, and you are hired by day and haunted by night by the fact that you are a Negro, living constantly at tiptoe stands, never quite knowing what to expect next, then you will understand why we find it difficult to wait.
It was Sunday morning. It was church. It was children.
It was 10:22 in the morning at the Birmingham 16th Street Baptist Church. A group of young girls had just finished their Sunday school lesson. They were changing into their choir robes.
The bodies and the partial clothing that you saw, it was like a nightmare.
They were not participants. They were not leaders. They were not marchers or sit-inners. They hadn't gone on a freedom ride. They were just there attending Sunday school.
The bomb that had killed the 4 children had been the work of the Ku Klux Klan. Until that moment, the majority of white people had never fully comprehended the magnitude of the intolerance and hate Black Americans faced in their struggle. In the summer of 1964, hundreds of students from the North traveled the back roads of Mississippi. They had come to help blacks register to vote.
People were scared of you. You know, you represented potential trouble.
We had all of the reasons that people could possibly give us of why they wouldn't register to vote. I don't want to do that because I don't want my house burned down. I don't want to do that because my son works for Mr. Nutlow, and Mr. Nutlow wouldn't be pleased with it. Who's making you do this, Henry? You know we've gotten along well. Why do you think you have to do this now? Every segment of that process was laden with danger. Known danger for black people.
I live here. I'm not like a man with a suitcase can move at a minute's notice. I said, but I can't march now, but any way I can help you, I'll do that. They opened my eyes. It opened a lot of people's eyes. My eyes were already half open, and it just opened them on up.
But there were so many thousands of people who said, yes, I will be there. Even though they knew, and had known all of their lives, that whites were unequivocally opposed to them voting. But they risked their lives, their jobs, their homes, their families, and they went down to register to vote.
Well, I went up there and I filled out an application. They had all about the Constitution and everything. Some of the questions on there, no doubt, the man would give me the application. I don't believe he knew.
The application was 4 and 5 pages long. And the registrar was an 8th grader. He could not read the applications.
You never did know whether you answered them right or wrong. You never did see it no more. I mean, most time they took them and threw them in the garbage can.